Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all well. First of all, I want to say how much I really appreciate you guys and how much positivity you guys were commenting on my last video. I really appreciate it. It really got you guys talking about your goals and your dreams, and that's what I loved about making that video. That it really inspires some of you guys, and that's what I want to do with this channel, just inspire you guys more and more with whatever I share. So I'm really glad that I had such a positive impact on you guys. But anyway, without me rambling on, in today's video, as you can tell from the title below, I'll be giving you guys a little tour around the sewing machine, i.e. my sewing machine. Since I posted my last couple of videos, which was my sewing beginner's guide, which was just a brief overview of your sewing machine and the tools that you need if you are a beginner, I did get quite a few comments asking to show you guys how to thread the machine and how to thread a bobbin. I wanted to make this video today to help some of you guys out if you want a more in-depth view of the sewing machine and what everything is called. And so that is what I'm going to do today in this video. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's just get straight into it. So this is a brief overview of my sewing machine. So the first thing that you guys will see is this, and this varies on every sewing machine. So this is just the stitches that I have on my sewing machine that I'm able to do, and it varies from a buttonhole technique to straight stitches to zigzag stitches to basting stitches. And this is just the dial that controls all of my stitches, so whatever direction I move it in is the direction for where the stitch is going to go. And they are all labelled from 1 to 11, so whichever number I put my dial on is the number that my stitch is going to be on my sewing machine. And your stitching options will vary from sewing machine to sewing machine. Some of them will all be down the side of it, some of them will be along the top, but this is just where mine are situated. And then moving on, just underneath here we have my reverse button, and the reverse button is in order to secure your stitch in place for when you are sewing. And then here we have the thread tension disc. So here we have numbers from 0 all the way to 9. So this controls the tension of the upper thread. So a happy medium is usually between 5, 4 and 3. As you guys can see, it has like a little kind of marking, and these are usually like the best tensions to have them on for most materials. So the lower the number is, the more that the stitch is going to be looser for the top part of the thread, and then the higher the number, the tighter the tension of the thread for the top will be. So depending on what material you're using and how you want your stitch to come out will depend on the number on tension that you usually put it on, but I usually like to leave on 5. Okay, now moving on to this little metal thing. I don't know if you guys can properly see it since it's inside the machine, but this little thing is called a take-up lever, and this will just guide the thread down to the bottom half of the needle. That is usually just a little metal lever that you'll find in between the groove of the sewing machine. Then moving down to the needle and the pressure foot. The pressure foot is just this little bit here. So as you can see, once you clamp this down, it pulls down on the pressure. So that just lifts up and lifts down, and you can change your actual sewing foot depending on what type of task that you're going to do. So whether you're going to do, I don't know, a zip or a button will depend on what foot that you have on your pressure foot. So for now I just have a standard sewing foot on here, and then just underneath, which I don't know if you guys can see, if I take this off, it just comes off just like that. But just underneath that, if you guys can see here, these metal grooves are called your feed dogs, and the feed dogs are basically like these metal grooves that kind of guide your material along through the machine. Then moving along at the top, we just have our bobbin winder and stopper, and this is in order to thread our bobbin, which I will show you guys in a minute. But yeah, this is just a stopper, and then this is just where the bobbin sits in order to wind your thread up. So that's just those. And then the last thing on the machine to show you guys is basically this, and this is just the balance wheel, and the balance wheel is just in order to move your needle back and forth. So if you move it away from you, it's going to go, the needle is going to go down, and if you move it towards you, the needle is going to come up. So now that we've got the brief overview of the machine out of the way, I'll be showing you guys how to thread your bobbin. So with my sewing machine, thankfully, it can take either two types of bobbins. It can take a metal one, or it can take a plastic one. So with whatever sewing machine you have, make sure you know whether your machine can take a plastic one or a metal one, or whether it can take both. If it can take both, then great. So I just vary between the two. It doesn't really matter which one. I will be showing you guys how to thread my metal one. So the first thing you want to do is come up to your bobbin winder, which is these two little things right here. Then you want to take your bobbin, whether it's metal or plastic, and then you want to place it on top of the bobbin winder, and then just push down until you hear a click. And then once you hear the click, you know that is securely in there. So with most sewing machines, as you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see these little diagrams, but they usually tell you how to thread your bobbin. So most sewing machines do have like a little mini diagram to show you guys how to do it as well, but obviously I will be also showing you guys. So once you place your bobbin onto your bobbin winder, like so, you're just going to take your thread of choice and just pull it onto the spool pin, like so. And all you want to do is take your thread and pull it towards your thread guide, towards this little tiny pin thing here. And all you're going to do is push it underneath the little pin and then crisscross it like so. So you just have a crisscross like this, and then all you're going to do is pull it towards your bobbin and wind it around it like so, however many times that you want to do it. I usually do it like about 3 times, and then just give it a bit of a pull so you have like a little bit hanging out here. So now that you have it in place like so, some bobbins do like allow you to put it through like the top hole of the bobbin, but you don't have to do that, but that's just to keep it secure if you'd like to. But once you just have a bit of the thread hanging off like this, all you want to do is push it against your bobbin stopper like so. So I'm gently going to push down onto my foot controller in order to start the bobbin going. And as you can see, it's starting to thread the bobbin. As you can see, the bobbin is going quite fast, so if you're not like used to threading it, you can go slower. But as you do it, you should see your bobbin fill up more and more, so you can just keep going as much as you like, really. So now that my bobbin is full, as you guys can see, you can just push away from the bobbin stopper and put it up. A quick cut like so, and you have threaded your bobbin. So now that we're at the lower half of my machine, this right here where this little plastic cover is where my bobbin is going to go into. Depending on your machine will depend where your bobbin is. So with mine, it is just situated on the top half of my machine. Sometimes it is just here below inside the machine, so it can either be in here or in here, but it just depends on the make of your sewing machine. So all you want to do is take your bobbin, you want to have it like so, and then all you want to do is pop it inside like this. And with mine, it also has like a little tiny diagram of how to thread it. But all you want to do is take your thread and follow the direction that your machine tells you to go in. So with mine, it's telling me to put my thread inside this tiny little groove in order for it to sit like so. So all it's going to do is sit in within this little tiny square right here. And then all I'm going to do now is cover my bobbin back up with this little screen. Okay, so now that I've put my bobbin inside my machine, I'm going to leave this for now because we need to thread the top half of the machine. So in order to thread my machine, as I said earlier guys, you can use the little diagrams that are situated on the top of your machine in order to help you thread it. But all I'm going to do is take my top half of my thread and put it back round here, which is where the thread guide is. And all I'm going to do is put it through a little hook, and then all we're going to do is take it down and up towards my take up lever, and then we're going to take my balancing wheel that I showed you guys earlier at the side of the sewing machine in order to push the take up lever forward in order for me to see it, and then I'm just going to hook it around my lever and back down towards the needle. Then once I've done that, I'm going to put my thread behind this little metal lever in order to keep the thread secure, and then you want to thread it through your needle. So there's two types of ways you can do this. You can do this by hand if you want to, or with most sewing machines they do have a little mini lever that comes with your sewing machine, so this is just so much easier and so much less time consuming using this. So all I'm going to do is take my thread, put it around my lever, and then through this little tiny needle. Then all I do is pull the lever away from me and then pull up, and then you should see the thread on the other side of the needle, and then all I'm going to do is put it through and your needle is threaded. So now that I've done that, all I'm going to do is push my thread just underneath the sewing foot. And now, in order to make the bobbin at the bottom meet with the top thread, all we're going to do is again move our balancing wheel towards us in order to grab the bottom bobbin thread. So all I'm going to do is push the balancing wheel towards me as I'm holding the top thread, and then you should slowly see the bottom bobbin thread come through the top. So you can either do this with your hands or just get a small pointy instrument or some scissors. So all I'm going to do is pull the bottom thread towards me like so, and there you have it. You have the top and bottom thread both threaded, and that is it, guys. Your machine is threaded and you're ready to use it. So that, guys, was a quick little overview of how to thread your bobbin and your sewing machine. I really hope you guys enjoyed and you found it helpful, and it was a bit more in depth so you guys can literally see up close and personal where everything is. Be sure to leave any comments down below if you have any other questions, or if you guys want to ask me anything. Be sure to follow me on my Instagram, Snapchat, and all my other social medias. I'll leave them all down below in the description for you guys if you guys want any more help with anything. But other than that, I shall see you guys in my next one. Peace.